Why, hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the Josh Potter Show. Oh boy, we just added new dates up at thejoshpotter.com. Go check them out. Of course, already, you should know, we've had Chicago on the docket, July 13th. Get tickets for that. Janesville, Wisconsin, happening August 15th and 16th at the Comedy Cabin. And then the new dates that are announced all in October, going to Spokane, going to Tacoma, going to Oklahoma City. All of those up at thejoshpotter.com. Of course, you can also see as well, going to be on the old Headbangers Cruise with Lamb of God there. And then we got Skankfest as well. The fall is shaping out.
Nailed it.
Something. But go over to JoshPotter.com and get those tickets. JoshPotterShow at gmail.com is where you can send things in. And, I didn't even airdrop you the two. We got two new tornado drawings.
I'm excited for this.
So I will airdrop you those. And whilst doing the rest of the stuff here, we'll get to them at the end of the show. How's that sound?
All right.
Boy, because I'm excited. Send them in if you got more. Oh, boy. Last week, of course, we had one, and this week we've got two more sent in to us. Thank you for that. JoshPotterShow at gmail.com. That is where all the Roach Reporters send things, same as Griff Parker sending in this fine instrumental. Thank you so much, Griff. Oh, boy. What else is going on in the world, huh? All eyes on the news. Everyone's aghast at the latest news. Oh my goodness, just the world is in shock. That's because Rafael Devers was traded from the Boston Red Sox this weekend. Oh my goodness, who saw it coming? I mean, pretty much. I don't know if you saw it coming. It wasn't so shocking. People are calling it like a Luka Doncic situation. I don't think that's the case. I mean, the guy was being kind of a prissy little bitch. They, of course, in the offseason acquired Alex Bregman, put him at third base, told Rafael Devers, you're going to be the designated hitter now. You no longer play third base. And he was all like, I don't want to do that. And then Tony Casas gets hurt at first base. They're like, hey, would you mind playing first base since our guy at first base got hurt? He goes, no, now I got to do that. And they were like, oh, God, all right, you're really good, but you're really pissing everyone off around here. So they got rid of him, shipped him out. San Francisco Giants, who traded a bag of baseballs for him, essentially. I mean, everyone talks about how great the Giants bullpen is. And so I'm like, they traded a guy from the bullpen. That bullpen is like highly touted. They traded like the worst one from their bullpen. I was like, they got that guy? So we'll see how it pans out for everybody. But yeah, the whole world up in arms about that. Of course, I don't really know what my audience's political leanings go towards. And that's kind of cool. I like that, frankly. So I don't know if you spent the weekend doing Father's Day or if instead you went out and did No Kings party or whatever. Everyone was out. My friend's mom was out doing the No King. I'm like, at what point? Is this even a protest or is this like a concert? People had outfits. They're dancing. I'm like, I don't think he cares. I mean, it didn't seem like he gave a shit. But I'm glad everyone had fun. I saw Tim Dillon distill it. He's like, summertime is now for protests. And I was trying to think, I'm like, yeah, I guess the last 5 years, every summer, it's just like, it's just part of the thing. People treat it like camping or something now. They prepare.
We can't afford to do anything else.
I guess, yeah. If we should just all just gather in the streets under the guise of protest just so we can have fun and do drugs or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, I've never white-knuckled I'm not a sober guy. Everyone knows this. I don't think I'm talking tales out of school saying that. But there's some things I've given up. Pills, for instance. And boy, oh boy, been white-knuckling it as of late. I'm just like, God, I miss them. Boy, oh boy, it's getting hot out. Things are unrest. Rafael Devers is getting traded. Oh boy, that's what I distract myself with baseball. And we have plenty to distract ourselves with, my friends. Let's get into some sports.
Beep 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 beep.
And first up, this story is crazy. Because this, I mean, who hasn't seen, this is like kind of like the Rafael Devers thing. You read the headline and you're a little bit like, oh my goodness. But at the end of the day, are you surprised? Antonio Brown accused of murder.
Murder.
That's right. Antonio Brown. If you recall, former great receiver for the Steelers. And then he got hit by, I want to say it was Vontaze Burfict, or it was one of those really great Cincinnati Bengals linebackers or cornerbacks. It might have even been Pac-Man Jones. See if you can pull up Antonio Brown getting rocked, because there was a time when he got absolutely murdered on the football field, and he was just never. They talk about CTE. This is the most, and he leans into it. He's like, yeah, I got CTE. That's why I'm so crazy. I think it's true at the end of the day. You know what I mean? He literally was not the same guy. Then he was all very strange. There was 9 hours, and I'll never forget, I was at an open mic here in Los Angeles. The news came across. It said Antonio Brown traded to the Buffalo Bills. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. You know, I can't remember what year this would have been, 2018, 19 maybe. Probably 18, late 17 maybe, around there. 9 hours later, they said, trade voided. It was because he didn't want to go. And thank God he didn't go to the Buffalo Bills, because his next team he went to, he had a tough time there. It was the Raiders, I do believe. He had his problems with his feet. He missed training camp. And I think he was traded before he even did anything on the Raiders, or cut or something. He ends up on the Buccaneers, and we remember the last scene of him leaving the field shirtless, yelling at Bruce Arians, his coach, for some reason. Maybe Bruce, I think it was, the story was Bruce Arians wanted him to get back out there, and he was like, no, I'm hurt or something. And he was like, you're hurt. And he was like, yeah, I'm hurt. And then he just freaked out. And then he flipped off the whole crowd, left the field, and everyone's like, man, what's going on with Antonio Brown? Then there was a series of time where he was like living with Tom Brady, and then he mother Tom Brady. I don't know. He's had a strange life. It's culminated now into him showing up on Kill Tony and Joe Rogan. I think this is the second murderer Joe Rogan's had on his podcast, actually. allegedly accused of. But do you have that hit? Let's see the one. This is the moment that I think changed his brain for all time. It would be with the Steelers. Okay, good. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. This is good. Okay, let's see. Can you mute it? You don't have to play, because we don't want the sound to take us off of YouTube.
This is Antonio Brown knocked out by
Vontaze Burfict. Yes, exactly. I called it. Oh, my God. My memory is like a trap sometimes when it comes to sports, nothing else. And there's the snap Roethlisberger to Brown, and Brown is dead. He is on the field. Vontaze Burfict was such a savage, dude. Go back. Can we see the? I mean, I'm sure they'll show this shit hit in slow motion here. He is on the field.
Maybe they won't.
Yeah, because it was an injury. Yeah. He hasn't gotten up yet. I mean, they're going to show right here?
I'm replaying.
Okay.
This is instantly play here.
All right. Good dude. I mean, God. And he is out. For those listening at home, he is on the ground. It is that situation. He's not doing Tua hands. He's not doing that, but he is.
Yeah, he gets like
out like a light,
scissored between two guys here.
Right. He gets kind of like set up. Like, remember in school when a guy would walk up behind you, get on all fours, and then another person would come and T-table you, they called it? It's kind of like that. But Vontaze Burfict was brutal, dude. Oh, my goodness. You don't have to keep doing it. We don't have to watch this guy. But now, and yes, he was on the Patriots, too. I forgot about that little stint as well. You know, Bill Belichick and all his, ego, thought he could, I could take care of this. I'm the whisperer. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, this was when it all changed, though.
Here it is.
Here it is, slow-mo. It's up. There's Brown. He gets the... Oh, my God.
Helmet to helmet.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, nope, it was shoulder to helmet. Either way, it is fucked up. I mean, it's like a car accident. And this is a life-changing hit right here. God.
Snaps his neck.
Oh, take it off the screen. Former New England Patriots wide receiver. That's what this article credits him for. He was on the Steelers way longer. If I were to look back on his career, I'd say Steelers wide receiver, but whatever, author of this article.
And this is a Boston news
Paper?
station.
Oh, okay, so
Boston
yeah, that's
News
why they're referencing it.
WCBB5.
Oh, we have a let's watch it. I'd rather someone else tell me what's happening than me talk for... Give me a...
Stadium.
Matt
Jen,
Reed.
police in Miami are looking for former Patriots wide receiver Antonio Brown, who's wanted on an attempted murder charge. The Washington Post has reported that the charge is linked to a shooting last month during a celebrity boxing event. A warrant for Brown's arrest says he will have to post a $10,000 bond and remain on house arrest until the trial. Now, police briefly detained Brown on May 17th after gunshots were fired at a boxing event, and he was seen on video fighting with several people. The 36-year-old was released a few hours later and said he was jumped by multiple people who tried to steal his jewelry. According to the warrant, witnesses told police that he was the one who fired the shots. Antonio Brown played with the Patriots back in 2019 before his career took a downturn following several on and off-field issues. He retired from the NFL in 2021. Now we'll send it to Todd Kiskiewicz, who is live in Denver.
I mean, it's so funny how quick that was, too. I mean, back when an NFL player... to the caliber of Antonio Brown, if he were accused of murder, I should say, it would be the biggest news on the planet. Now, O.J. Simpson was a cultural icon beyond just football, but Antonio Brown has been all over the fucking internet lately, and I would venture to guess he's a pretty big celebrity, at least in like fringe internet. That just goes to show there's no monoculture anymore. You know what I mean? Like Antonio Brown gets accused of murder, and people are like, well, yeah, I mean, hasn't that already happened? Like people are, it's like a Berenstain Bears thing. They're like, hasn't he already been accused of murder? Wait, I mean again? And you're like, no, this is the first time. It's crazy that no one seems to pay attention to these things the way they used to. I mean, you thought OJ was crazy driving down the fucking freeway going like 30 miles an hour with all the cop cars behind him. I could see that happening with this, but none of us would ever pay attention to it. Antonio Brown would do it naked laying on top of the thing, in a Waymo or something like that, and people would be like, oh, what happened? Crazy. It just seems so bizarre to me that a fucking NFL player can be accused of
murder.
and it's not the same impact anymore. And it's so funny that he said after he was on the Patriots, his career took a downward turn due to on and off field incidents. It happened the moment that Vontaze Burfict hit occurred. That was the beginning of the end right there. It didn't take him going to the Patriots. He was well on his way after the fact that hit happened. I mean, he was, once the end with the Steelers, oh my God, Juju Smith-Schuster came in there and it got real crazy. There it is again. God, it's like watching a fucking car accident, dude. I can't stop, but I should. It's morbid. Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Home Chef. Oh, boy, it's the summertime. You know what that means? Boy, oh, boy, we got baseball games. We got the beach. We got bikinis. We got barbecues. That's all bee stuff, and that's just the bees, baby. There's so much more going on in the summertime. Barbecue, by the way, invites from weird relatives you only kind of know. Who wants to do that? You got to go eat their dumb, bland food. Not with Home Chef. Instead of spending your days meal prepping in the overheated kitchen or eating some slop some vague relative gave you, go outside and enjoy the sunshine in your own way. Break the monotony and free up your time with Home Chef. Easy to follow meal kits with fresh, exciting recipes, and they're delivered straight to your door. You don't even have to go outside if you don't want to. You can if you want. You don't have to. The world is your oyster with Home Chef. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and of course, the thing that tickles my fancy most, recipe ease. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering all the roaches out there 18 free meals, plus you're going to get free dessert for life, and of course, free shipping on your first box. Go to homechef.com/Potter. That's homechef.com/Potter for 18 free meals, and you're going to get free dessert for life. Homechef.com/Potter. Must be an active subscriber to receive the free dessert. Anywho, Jeff sent this in. Last week we were talking about old Jazz Jism shortstop of the New York Yankees. He made an error on mic, which is another sign of 2025. He's being interviewed on the broadcast, and we watched him in real time make an error and have to just live in that as the focus of the broadcast, beyond just him having to do that in a stadium full of people like he normally would have to. But I did say, I call him, what did I say? I call him a Chazz Jism on occasion. I mix it up, you know. Some people were writing in, they're like, how about Jizz Chasm? How about that one? And I said, hey, touche. But I thought, I was like, am I a genius? Am I the first person to ever come up with that? Evidently not. And it has, I said, wouldn't that be a great mistake that's made? And boy, oh boy, so many people, including Jeff, sending me this from a broadcast where someone, in fact, made this mistake. Let's watch it.
Chazz Jism is gonna start in center field.
He corrected it. Chazz Jism is going to be starting in Chasm. Oh, shit. I don't even know where. Anyhow, number 13.
Chazz Jism is.
This is back when he's on the Marlins, too. So this is like, a couple years ago, or maybe back in his rookie season when he was truly electric. When he was on the Marlins, he was on the cover of MLB The Show with his like chains and everything. So he was a huge player at this point. And now again, like I said, he's playing shortstop, but here he's going to be playing third base. Oh, they're putting Chazz Jism in center field today.
Chazz Jism is.
Play the whole thing. I want to hear him make his.
It's just a 5-second
Chazz
correction.
Chisholm is gonna start in center field.
Chisholm. He's looking at someone. Chisholm. Anyhow, thank you, Jeff, for sending that in. I'm sure it's not the only instance that's occurred. But that's it for sports for now. Baseball is in full swing. Oh, can we say? I mean, this is me being petty. And maybe it's because my blood pressure has risen since I walked into the studio today. There's just some jackwagon playing guitar by the door out here. It pissed me off in ways I don't even know why. Just watching this guy, he's sitting in a stool where like the security would sit.
He's here for potluck.
Yeah, of course. But everyone in potluck's out there, I come around back. I just want to smoke a fucking cigarette before I come down here and just like collect myself. And there's this fucking jackwagon playing. And I've never wanted to Belushi a guitar more than anything in my life. And it's not good. The guy's not good at it.
He's not good.
He's
worse than not good. He's horrendous.
And he's loud, and it's right by the door. It's like people have to walk around him to go into the building. It's like, dude, take it elsewhere. I don't know why that made my blood. When you feel your blood pressure rise, it only happens on very certain annoyances for me. And that was one of them.
We've been down here talking about it.
I walked up and I just go, I try to look at anybody else. I go, is this happening? Has no one? I mean, it goes to show how much they love artists here or whatever the hell, because they let this fucking mook just sit by the goddamn door and play his fucking guitar poorly. Yeah, I hope you get up. Every time I walk by him, I'm just like, what's going on here? I'm hearing it through the hall. I'm like, is this going to bleed into my fucking... Do you have to do it right by the door? Go sit in the sidewalk and do it. God. Anyhow, that's a tangent. But this made me just as annoyed, and this is more petty. This is just kind of like...
Maybe we should bring him on to do like...
No, we're not bringing... Don't even interrupt me saying such a fucking nonsense. God, I've never been angrier in my life at a suggestion. I want him shot out of a cannon far away from the building. I don't want to bring him. But this didn't annoy me as much as this guitar playing dildo outside. But it is annoying that the All-Star game for Major League Baseball is approaching, and they revealed the uniforms for the All-Star game. Now, during the actual All-Star game, the players wear their team uniforms, which I think is very cool that they've gone back to that. But during the Home Run Derby and the other events, they wear these new uniforms. Can you show them? That's them right there. Yeah. Who designed this? We have AI now. And this is the best thing we could come up with. It's just Major League Baseball with their City Connect, some of the City Connect uniforms, and with these, they're just so dull and basic. That looks like, a video game fake team jersey looks better. It doesn't even look good. What is this? Little leagues have better jerseys. It's so, it just infuriated me that this is Major League Baseball, the All-Star game. It's supposed to be the biggest event of the summer. It's like apple pie and 4th of July. It's the home run derby. This is the fucking uniforms, dude. Did they even try? It's so dumb. I don't take it off the screen. It's the visual epitome, or the visual, what's it called? Representation, I guess, of that retard upstairs that I was angry about. If I go back up there after the show and he's still there, I swear to God, I'm going to freak out. I don't know how. I'm just going to be like, God, blow a gasket or something. All right, I got to calm down. Let's get to some news. That's better. Welcome to the news. Let's talk about a guy masturbating on an airline. Do we have video of this? Oh, no, we don't have. That's all right. You know who sent this one in? Our very own Bobby Hutch, post-producer of the show. Texas man accused of masturbating openly while groping at a dumbstruck passenger sitting next to him aboard an American Airlines flight from Boston to Washington, D.C. I thought when I read this story and Bobby sent it, I go, oh, we've already had this story. No. This is a different one. And I went through it to find out the details on this one. Oftentimes I like to be surprised by the stories. In this case, I read through it to be sure. I said, didn't we have this all right? No. Another person masturbate. The planes are the bust of the sky now. And they're all, sometimes when they go down, you're just like, who was really on there anyway? A Texas man accused again of masturbating and then groping the passenger. He later said he denied doing any wrongdoing and insisted that police, or to police, that he had been merely stretching his arms. So he's like, no, I'm just stretching, dude. Would you believe me for a second? I don't know why I faked masturbating with my, I'm not doing it for real because I used my right hand. I'm a lefty. I don't know why I
And you were
mimed it.
You were gorilla scooping it. You were all the way.
Yeah, I was, because I don't really know how to do it with this hand. I right-handed. I catch, I throw right-handed, but I play hockey and golf and anything with a bat.
Really?
I'm lefty, but I jerk off lefty. Is that part of it too? So I don't really know which one's dominant.
That's a weird one.
I should try jerking off with my right hand, see what happens. But yeah, no, this guy, he's on there. Who knows what hand he's using? He's like, no, I'm just stretching. Let me grab your tit. Oh, he's doing one of those.
I think it was man on man.
Man on man. Yeah, he can still grab a dude's tits. I don't know. Aerospace executive Daryl Ray Seal, 56. This is an aerospace executive. Good God, I thought it was just some mook who's sitting in 27C. He continued to touch his seatmate's crotch and leg. Even after the man demanded he stop. The guy was like, hey, dude, stop. He's like, you're saying stop, but your penis is saying keep going. Maybe he got a little chubbed up, is all I'm saying. In an email on Thursday, Seal's court-appointed lawyer, Todd Richmond, declined to comment on the allegations. He was released Tuesday on personal reconnaissance bond following his June 8th arrest on one count of abusive sexual contact, and he was unable to be reached. Last year, the FBI, which has jurisdiction over in-flight crimes, now this is what made me realize, not to mention the date of the article, this is what made me realize we've had stories like this before that are different. There was 104 cases involving allegations of a sexual assault aboard an aircraft in this tight little thing. I'm scared to even look at a nude picture on my fucking phone on an airplane, let alone, start assault. You can't go anywhere. You can't like grab a dude's dick and then run off. You're aboard an airplane in the sky. I mean, where are you going to go? The guy's going to be like, hey, man, you grabbed my dick. We're on this thing for another 2 hours, pal. There's better places is all I'm saying. God, so this guy says he was just, stretching. Now, back to the pills thing. People take drugs to fly on these airplanes because they're terrified. And I feel like not everyone can handle their pills. Now, I used to have the goal when I got on an airplane, I would take a football-sized Xanax, like a fucking bar. The whole thing. And the whole bar. And get on an airplane. My goal was to put the seatbelt on, close my eyes, and then I wanted, one time, this was the best scenario ever. I had the flight attendant go, sir, we were there. Everyone left the plane. I was the last one on the plane.
So no waiting to deboard, nothing.
I didn't even deboard. I was in the window seat, and I'm like, and the whole plane deboarded to the point where like the people cleaning the seats were like in my row going like, there's one still here.
Is he dead?
Two flight attendants. I woke up pretty right away. I was like, huh? And they're like, sir, the plane has landed. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're like, that's okay. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I didn't sleep last night. I was sleeping on the plane. And they're like, all right, well, we're here. You have to get off now. And so I got my bag and I got off. And I was walking through the thing. And, normally you would assume I'd be embarrassed or something or ashamed or something like that. Or like, wow, that was, No, I was like, that was the best plane ride I've ever had. It was like a blink of an eye. I got on the plane. All of a sudden it's, sir, we're here. I'm like, we are? Oh boy, I didn't even know we took off. What a time. And then I'm going through the airport, happy as a clam. So that was the extreme of my medication to, get through a plane ride. Some of these people take these drugs and you got the Tiffany Gomez of the world. That motherfucker isn't real or what, they're seeing things. They're having a real trip. This guy, who knows? Maybe he took an Ambien or something and he's just like, oh man, am I comfortable? And he's got his eyes closed. He's like, you know what I do at this moment? Usually when I feel this good, I start jerking my dick off. Maybe he was just jerking off because he didn't remember he was on an airplane. Sounds like he was probably in first class. Those seats are comfortable. Sometimes you forget you're on an airplane. I don't think he was in a pod or anything quite like that.
Or like that guy that lit a cigarette.
That was that was different. I would say that was like anxiety. That's a guy who smokes.
Yeah.
To the point where like before he even opens his eyes in the morning.
That guy smokes in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Before he even opens his eyes, every day he's like, he had the cigarette like in his thing. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, dude.
He wanted to open his eyes after the first rip of his cigarette. And it was just muscle memory.
He was so let down in himself.
Well, then he realized, he goes, oh, shit. I mean, who hasn't been there before where you wake up in a strange place and you go, I've never lit a cigarette quite like that. I mean, boy, oh boy. That you feel bad. You go, when you see the tape of that guy.
I felt so bad for him.
And who's filming that, by the way? And how did they know to film it? That was a little something.
They probably watched him pull it out, pull the cigarette out of the pack and like get all ready to light it.
True. Okay. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, you watch that tape and you just go, don't ban this guy. He fucked up. I mean, that's a guy that's just in the throes of addiction. Leave him alone. Now, maybe old, what's this gentleman's name? It's Mr. Seal here. Maybe his addiction is jerking his penis off. And he's like, oh, I'm on the plane. Oh, my bad, dude. I thought you were my wife. Tough look. We've all been there, right? Can I get another gin and tonic? He's like getting the flight. Ding. Golly. I feel so fortunate that I haven't been. I mean, again, my goal is to be so passed out that if there was an incident on the plane, I would never know it happened, Another passenger sitting across the aisle saw Seal touch the man's left thigh and put his hands on his crotch and observed him fondle his penis. Were his eye? This is what I want to know. What was the look on his face? Was he like looking over like, what do you think, bro? Like, was he looking at the guy, trying to make eye contact, or was he like snoring and drooling while doing it? It says the passenger across the aisle then watched Seal's seatmate raise his right hand towards Seal to make the universal stop sign. Huh. This, again, I know I keep bringing it back to Mad Men, but this just sounds like when, like, the guy Sal, who's, like, in the closet gay, gets, like, approached by other closeted gay men, and he's at work and he's, like, doesn't know what to do, and he's like, but really... is it that he really like deep down wants it? Is that what the kind of like, was he like, just putting your hand up as the stop sign? I would probably go, hey dude, don't grab my penis. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I would be a little more adamant than I don't know.
Yeah, it feels very like Dare program.
But I would be like, I mean, that's again, like that guy in Mad Men, every time a guy hit on him or like made a move on him, he would be like, no, stop. It's like Willy Wonka, No, stop, don't. That kind of thing. Seal initially moved his hand away, according to the affidavit, but it says he soon continued molesting the man, prompting the passenger across the aisle to intervene. I mean, what? Hey, stop touching this man's penis. Could you imagine getting that involved? Imagine paying attention to your surroundings enough where you're like, I'm going to stop this man from grabbing this other man's penis. I just feel like that's my due diligence here. The man typed a message on their phone reading, "Are you okay?" and showed it to Seal's seatmate. What's with the no verbal thing here? You're that close. You could just be like, dude, is this guy supposed to be touching your dick? You're just across the aisle. When Seal subsequently got up to use the restroom, the target of his unwanted affections informed the flight attendant about what had happened and was promptly seated elsewhere for the remainder of the trip. Yeah, that's great. When the flight attendant comes up to you and goes, sir, I'm sorry to ask this, but would you do me a favor? The gentleman in 4C was getting molested by the man next to him. Do you think you could switch seats with him for the rest of the flight? Yeah. Who was willing to do that?
They put him in the jump seat.
That would be my lot. They'd come up to me and be like, sir, I'm sorry to ask you, but the gentleman in 4C is trying to switch with somebody. We're asking for volunteers. You see, he was molested by the man next to him, so we're just trying to get him out of there. And would you mind being molested by the man? We'll
give you a free meal voucher on your next
Exactly. Flight. You get a couple miles.
Or would you be offended? Would you be like...
I would ask for a voucher. I'd be like, I want a $1,500 voucher.
I'd be like...
I'll sit next to the guy molesting people. Try me, dude.
Oh,
Try touching my penis.
Like, do you think that this guy is not going to molest me? Am I that ugly?
I mean, I wouldn't care either way. I would be like, yeah, I don't think he's going to molest me. But then again, what does that other guy look like? And... does the guy care? Guys don't usually care. And I've been hit on by a lot of guys, and they don't give a fuck. I feel like the belle of the ball, in fact, when it comes to dudes sometimes. I'm like, I get hit. I'm like, wow, am I attractive? But guys just want to fuck. So I don't think I'm worried about that. But I would be like, I'd risk it I'd tell the flight attendant, what's it worth it to you?
Maybe there was someone on the plane who was like, oh, I'll go. Choose me.
Maybe that's a good point. You don't want someone too eager to volunteer for that situation. Wait, what's happening up there? Yeah, dude. Why didn't you tell me before the plane started? You should put that in the seat selection thing. Pair us up that way. He acknowledged sitting next to the alleged victim, admitted to possibly making contact with him while stretching my arms. The affidavit states. At the same time, it says Seal denied ever touching him in a sexual way and denied ever exposing his own genitalia. That's crazy to misconstrue if the guy was jerking his dick in the open. I thought it was maybe like they're under those blankets, those little like napkins they give you to be like, here, you want your blanket? Who's using the blanket? You see people using it and you're like, I don't know. Do you guys use the fucking blankets?
I use it as a pillow sometimes.
That makes sense because it's like a fluffy thing and it's folded up in that little bag.
And you can like roll it up in your arms and lay on the table.
Yeah. That makes way more sense than using it as a blanket. It looks like the things that they spread disease to the Native Americans. I mean, this thing is like made out of nothing. It's like so thin. It's like a cheesecloth. And people are like, and you're like, what? Why? You don't have to use it just because they gave it to you. It's crazy. Then my mom used to like keep it. She's like, I'll put it in the trunk of the car in case there's a snowstorm. It's like, if there's a snowstorm, that's doing nothing. That's like probably going to get wet and disintegrate. Anyhow, Seal's story didn't line up with the narratives provided by his seatmate and the passenger across the aisle. So this guy's got a witness across the way, the guy that's like writing on his phone, Are you okay? Who's this idiot over there? Like, Captain America across the way being like, I gotta write on the phone. Anyhow, Seal was arrested 2 days later as he prepared to board a departing flight from Reagan National. Could you imagine you're in line? It's like, we're boarding now group 2. And then this guy's in the group ahead of you. And they're like, sir, you're under arrest for molesting your seatmate. And you're like, oh my God, I was about to get on a plane with this guy. It's like getting a guy getting caught before he, was about to 9/11 it or something. That's what I would, if I was sitting next to the guy and he touched my penis, there would be new rules about, like, you wouldn't be able to bring a pen on a. They'd be like, he stabbed him in the neck with his pen. No more pens. I would be the guy, like the shoe bomber guy, where it's like, great, now we're all taking our pens out because of this fucking guy. He again denied he ever touched his seatmate in any sexual way, but he acknowledged that he observed him put his hand in the stop signal. Seal said he believed the man was telling him to stop touching him while stretching. Yeah, well, that's still fucked up. Who stretches here and touches people? Hey, what's up, man? And you're like, grabbing your dick. I don't know. That's crazy. In March, American Airlines permanently banned a serial harasser. This is the one we had before. Following his third accusation of in-flight sexual misconduct. These people are buying plane tickets to sexually. There's cheaper ways to do it, fellas. I'm just saying. That same month, a New York City fashion executive filed a lawsuit against American, claiming the passenger sitting next to her masturbated for a full hour aboard the flight. A full hour. You're like hitting that bell. Bing. I haven't got any service. This guy's been jerking off for an hour. I've been trying to tell someone. Get up. They're right in the front. Go tell someone. I'd figure out which one's the air marshal and have a pistol to this fucking guy's head. The cabin crew evidently did nothing to stop that gentleman. Last year, a New Jersey woman sued the... I would stand... If they weren't doing anything, they'd be... Am I taking crazy pills? This guy's jerking off. I talk to people. I go, do you see? There's a child over there. I'd be like making a scene. I'd be like Tiffany Gomez. They'd be like... Everyone's like, that guy... It's like they gaslight me. They're like, no one's jerking off, Josh. Oh, my God. Last year, a New Jersey woman sued the carrier over claims that she was sexually assaulted by a fellow traveler on a night flight from Charlotte to Newark. Seal is now living under his brother-in-law's supervision in Trophy Club, Texas. Your brother-in-law's just some sexual deviant. You're like, yeah, I guess I'll watch him. Jesus. Anywho, he is barred from possessing any weapons and is not allowed to board any commercial flights without permission from the court. If convicted, he faces up to 2 years in prison. American Airlines did not respond for a request for comment. It's crazy because what did it say this guy was? He was a fucking aerospace executive. Maybe this guy just loves planes. He gets chubbed up when he's on there. He hears the roar of the engine or something, Gets up in the air. He's like, man, I fucking love aerospace. And he's jerking his dick off. Who knows? I guess we'll find out in the court. Oh boy, this next one has a story. Mr. T sent this one in, and I'm excited to watch it. This is just a simple case of a lady being a boomer, I guess, you know? I don't know. I give her grace. Let's watch.
ISD is investigating.
Wait,
Northside
what?
ISD is investigating now after.
Can you pause it? Was that English in the beginning? What the fuck did she say?
Yeah, she said Northside ISD.
Okay, I was like, is this foreign? I don't know. Is my brain broken?
I had to restart it.
Okay.
We had an ad going.
I mean, she looks like an exotic lady. That's why I thought maybe this lady was going to, she's like, and then I was like, is this happening in America? Okay, go ahead. Let's watch.
Northside ISD is investigating now after several students were served alcohol on the last day of school. The district says this happened yesterday at Pease Middle on the west side. And ISD says the special education teacher inadvertently served 5 students in 3 different classes cans of hard Mountain Dew Blast. The district says the teacher did not.
I mean, 3 classes.
3 classes and... See, so she's the special ed teacher. Does that mean she's special ed? Would make sense. I don't know. But boy, I mean, that's who's teaching the special ed is a lady who can't read. I don't know. It's wild. Hard Mountain Dew. Should we even be giving the special ed kids Mountain Dew regular?
She probably saw 0 sugar and she was like, yeah, this is great.
0 sugar, 12% ABV though, or whatever. Unbelievable. So she gives these kids. I mean, how long did it take people to notice though? You know, they're like, is he drunk or is he special ed? Who knows?
I think they go on to.
I like how the woman in the beginning though. She goes, for those just not watching and listening at home, this woman made such a pause for alcohol. She was like, served alcohol. It was like she was waiting for a bum, bum, bum. Like it was such a look with her eyes. Watch that again. Let's go back a little bit. This is quick anyhow.
After several students were served alcohol on the last day of school. The district says this happened yesterday at Pease Middle.
We don't need to see it again. That's okay.
Currently served 5 students in 3 different classes cans of hard Mountain Dew Blast. The district says the teacher did not realize they contained alcohol. Each of the students were seen by a campus nurse and their parents were notified. That incident is being investigated now by Northside ISD Employee Relations, and they also say Child Protective Services will be notified.
Man, I got to see. So next week, I'm going to get one of these, bring it in here. Let's see how wrecked I get off of one of these in a pretty short period of time, just to see what these kids were dealing with here, Well,
they got Baja Blast, Code Red.
Yeah, we'll see which I'm going to see. I definitely know that the liquor store on my corner has these. I seen them and I was like, in a different time, I would have gone to a house party and brought these as a little goof. And probably got ripped off them. You know what I mean? I would have been like, yeah, dude. And then like me and my friends would be LOLing, but then get like rocked and be like, these rule.
And then you drink them for like 3 months.
I'm bringing these. Although next week we're going to have Maddie Smith. So maybe the episode after that one. Because Maddie's doesn't drink anymore. I don't want to be like, what's up, Mountain Dew? We're drinking them because a couple of special ed kids, popped off and drank them and just wanted to see what the effects were.
We're just doing the do.
So wild. And listen, my sister is a special ed teacher. I'm not taking away from your jobs by any means. It's a noble profession. Very patient you have to be. But I mean, who's this lady that's like, I don't think you should buy them even Mountain Dew is what I'm saying. I think even just like regular Mountain Dew is not as, what do you want them bouncing off the walls? I'm talking about just children in general, let alone some special eds. But anyhow, that was a fun story. Thank you for sending that in, and we will be sampling. If you're out there and you have a review of them too, JoshPotterShow@gmail.com. I'm not talking about the special ed kids. I'm talking about the Mountain Dews, of course, the hard Mountain Dews. Go get them. Jefferson Nally sent this in, award-winning Roach reporter Jefferson Nally sent in this story about a U.S. Coast Guard vet who turned OnlyFans model, which is an excellent choice in 2025. I mean, why on earth would you be a U.S. Coast Guard vet? I mean, I guess you stay that, but yeah, disgrace yourself with OnlyFans so you never have to go back into what is impending. So I would, if I were them, get into OnlyFans. Speaking of OnlyFans, by the way, this is where I was going with this detraction. Sarah Jaree, the teacher we had on the program many moons ago, she was on via Skype. She had been fired, and we dubbed the person who got her fired Queef of the Year, if you recall, in one of our Roachy Awards. She loved the outpouring of the Roaches at that time, who shamed this man on Twitter to the point where she just wrote a book. It's on its way, and she mentions the Roaches in it for shaming this man. So once I get that book, we'll read the little segment about the Roaches. But go scoop one up. You're basically in a book out there. Isn't that wonderful? But yes, Sarah Jaree, OnlyFans model who used to be a teacher. A U.S. Coast Guard vet turned OnlyFans model, facing a decades-long prison sentence for luring a man she claimed RAPED'd her into the woods of a national park in Ohio and executing him. So a little bit of Eileen Wuornos here going on. Chelsea Perkins pleaded guilty on Tuesday to second-degree murder in the 2021 death of 31-year-old Matthew Dunmeyer at Cuyahoga Valley National Park near Cleveland. Hikers in the Terra Vista National Study area of the park found Dunmeyer's body around 11 a.m. March 9th, 2021. Oh boy, 11 a.m. We're going for a morning hike. What the hell is that smell? And it's like, that's not how you want to be drinking your coffee in the morning. He had a single gunshot wound in the back of his head and an Aquafina water bottle next to him. Way to go. Yeah, that's a good advertisement. I thought you had a video for this one, but that's the guy that she killed?
I do. Let's set it up a little bit more because the video's a little bit of a follow-up.
All right. License plate readers showed the car belonged to Perkins' husband. Investigators later learned that the pair drove to an Airbnb that the defendant had rented using her credit card. After spending the night with Dunmeyer, Perkins sent a Facebook message to her tattoo artist in Metro Detroit that she was in Cleveland and was going to make a stop first before driving back to Michigan. The pair drove to the national park on the morning of March 6, 2021. Hikers said that they heard a gunshot between 11:30 a.m. and 11:50 a.m. Another pair of hikers reported encountering a woman later confirmed to be Perkins, who was walking and appeared to be lost. They thought it was odd that she was wearing knee-high boots and not hiking gear. Who would think that was odd? I don't know. You're like,
because they're like a little fashionable, right?
Okay, so like they're not hiking.
They're like knee-high, like leather you'd see on a night out.
These hiking people, though, are too nosy. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm like a person walks by me. It's like, I'm not like, that person's probably got some sore feet. I don't know. I'm not paying attention to these things. It's just so funny to me when people are like, oh, no, I knew something was up because she had those boots on. That always makes me feel like this guy's a tryhard or whatever. The suspect's DNA was also found on the Aquafina bottle, as well as on Dunmeyer's body. After her short stint in the Coast Guard, Perkins went on to become an OnlyFans model, like everyone did in 2020. I mean, like, come on. It's so funny. Literally, I was thinking about this the other day. There's going to be people who are like, 25, they're going to start being of adult age, who definitely their mother was on OnlyFans back when they were like a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be about 80% of people. It's going to be like a diss in the future. Listen to me say diss. That's how old I am. But it's going to be like, yeah, I used to jerk off to your mom on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to uncover all their mom's OnlyFans at some point. I feel like it's going to be awesome when it's like someone who's someone's grandmother. You could go back, watch them, plug them up with a butt plug, and it's going to be a fun time. I found your grandma's OnlyFans.
All right, you want to watch the video?
Is there more I should set up? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. This is just.
I want to get into the backstory because there's also like, she has like, she might have, judging by the photo of that guy, I'm following all the, I'm believing this woman at least. After her short stint in the Coast Guard, Perkins went on to become an OnlyFans model, yada, yada, yada. She was under the name Sabrina Savage. The Cleveland Plain Dealer reported her name was Sabrina Savage. Thanks, Cleveland Plain Dealer. As for Perkins's RAPE allegation against Dunmeyer, police in Virginia Beach said there was not enough evidence to move forward with the charge. The case took a twist in November. The evidence should just be the guy's fucking face. I mean, good God. The case took a twist in November when Dunmeyer's parents, upset that Perkins had not yet been arrested, took matters into their own hands. Dunmeyer's mother and father drove to D.C. with plans of killing Perkins. I mean, this is what is this, a film on Lifetime? I mean, so much. People are just jumping to murder to take care of these issues. Tommy Lynn Dunmeyer dressed as a UPS driver and knocked on an apartment door. When a woman answered, she shot her twice in the abdomen. The problem? The woman who answered the door was not Perkins. Yeah, that's a problem. Should probably get it right. Blah, blah, blah. What? You're not her? Ah, shit, my bad. The problem, as I mentioned, the woman who answered the door was not Perkins. The older Dunmeyer had just shot a woman who had nothing to do with her son's murder. Tommy Lynn Dunmeyer and McQuillan changed license plates on their vehicle, but cops still tracked them down. She shot herself to death as officers were closing in. So this woman killed herself, the mother.
Wow.
The woman she shot survived the injuries, and federal agents arrested the gentleman who later pleaded guilty to accessory after the fact to assault with the intent to kill. He received a 3-year prison sentence. Matthew Dunmeyer's obituary described him as a free spirit who loved music, loved playing his guitar, and loved being with his friends. And RAPE, evidently. Let's watch what this lady is.
So now this is a follow-up.
I mean, that was layered. I mean, this lady, this guy does this assault her, so she's up in arms. She kills him on the hiking trail.
We might hear some more of that. I'm not quite sure, but this is her in court.
But I'm just trying to recap here.
Yeah.
This man does bad news bears to her. She shoots him in the head. She's on OnlyFans. Her parents go... the guy's parents, excuse me, the murder victim's parents go, this is fucked up. I'm going to murder now. They go kill someone else or try to, and then she shoots herself. I mean, this is crazy. Go ahead. I had to parse it out for myself.
Yeah.
Let's watch Nicole Vransky.
Woman accused of shooting and killing a local man in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park takes a plea deal less than a week before the case was set to go to trial, now sparing herself from life in prison. Investigator Sarah Goldenberg has been following all of the twists and turns in this case.
Twists and turns. Great way to describe it, Nicole.
Chelsea Perkins pleaded guilty to murdering Matthew Dunmeyer, ending a long wait for resolution to this case on both sides. Chelsea Perkins, an adult performer with an OnlyFans account, a wife and a mother, an admitted killer.
All right, fine. Wait, do we? I mean, like,
yeah.
What a pairing of things. Like, well, she was a daughter, a mother, a lover, an OnlyFans adult actress who plugged her holes with dildos, and also a mother.
It was very classy. It was adult performer with an OnlyFans, so it was very played down.
Yeah, I mean, we could have just said OnlyFans model. We could have left it out entirely. I don't see how it is part of the story. It wasn't like they said this guy was a subscriber. They met up through that. It doesn't have anything. It's just like, hey, also she did porn, for the record. Yeah. But what is this, News 19 or whatever? What's it called? Because I used to live in Cleveland and watch this station.
Yes, it's I
forget the name of the station. It's not like Fox 19. Is it? Who cares? It's just the Big 19, though. That is... I forget the guys on there. There used to be like, when you go to another city, I knew all the guys in Buffalo.
So it's just 19 News.
19 News. Yeah, that's why I was like News 19 or whatever the hell. But, I went to Cleveland and they have just like Buffalo, they had legacy media guys and there was like a bunch of people on this at the time. I'm sure they're all retired, but let's watch.
I don't know if the rest of this is really worth watching.
I just want to see how they parse it out because it's so involved. Let's see.
I just can't get over that no one's talking about she was in the Coast Guard. Like, the idea that everybody in the
Good
Coast
point,
Guard...
Alex. Of all the resume in the beginning, didn't talk about her being a veteran for our country. That's how much they don't care about vets.
I also like the idea that everyone in the Coast Guard is so underpaid, they're all on OnlyFans.
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case for most of our military. I mean, look how they get treated when they come back over here. I mean, they don't do enough for the vets, so they have to resort to OnlyFans. I'm sure there's a lot out there.
Admitted killer. Prosecutors said Perkins traveled from out of state to meet the victim, Matthew Dunmeyer, before killing him and trying to cover up her tracks. In March 2021, hikers discovered Matthew Dunmeyer's body in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park.
Is the Cuyahoga Valley National Park a cemetery, or were they just like, here's a grave?
Yeah, that little cutaway here.
What is that? Wait, go back. I got to listen to the context of what she's saying.
With the footsteps?
Before killing him and trying to cover up her tracks.
Just an ominous picture of a cemetery? I mean, like, what does that have to do with anything?
You usually wouldn't use the audio in that type of cutaway.
No, that was an error.
Yeah.
You know they were going to leave the audio because they have the real like sad like violin string music in the background, and then they left in the footsteps. Yeah, you don't want to leave that. That's like leaving in the breathing or something too. Like, all right, go ahead.
In March 2021. Hikers discovered Matthew Dunmeyer's body in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. He died of a gunshot wound to the back of his head. Oof. Investigators found Dunmeyer and Perkins spent the night together at an Airbnb before he was murdered. 9 months later, FBI agents arrested Perkins, a 31-year-old mother in Florida.
AKA Sabrina Savage.
She left an evidence trail behind. Documents show investigators tracked the white smart car that picked up Dunmeyer back to a U.S. Coast Guardsman who used to live in...
Suddenly, we're artsy now. Black and white. Oh. Everything's black and white. Ooh, scary. The trail. They just chose right now to make it black and white. Like, what a choice there. Go ahead. Is that black and white or am I crazy?
That's black and white.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Go ahead.
Dunmeyer back to a U.S. Coast Guardsman who used to live in Northern Virginia. Chelsea's husband. Turnpike records revealed Perkins drove from Ohio to Michigan the same day as the murder to get a tattoo. They said her DNA matched samples taken from Dunmeyer. This case has faced delays for years. Just over a year ago, Perkins rejected a plea deal. According to court documents, her attorneys were going to argue self-defense. Back in 2017, Perkins had previously accused Dunmeyer of, but he was not prosecuted. We spoke with Matthew's uncle, Dan Dunmeyer, a year ago.
It was a shock, as you can imagine.
Pause it.
Especially as the details start.
I like how they just showed her. Yes. Now, this is the uncle. I wonder, I mean, this story might be later than that video. Again, she's saying this is in 2024.
They said that they talked a year ago.
Right. It says up in the top corner, 2024. But at this time, it's like how much time went before that and the brother or...
Oh, and the mother.
I don't know if it's the sister or the brother of this guy or what have you, but how long until... Because it says in 2021 that they did all that. So this guy knows that happened. So he's like, it was a shock. Wait till you hear what happened with his parents. Holy shit. Let's see what they say.
Started to come out.
He tells us his nephew was an aspiring musician who came to Cleveland after growing up in Virginia.
I mean, if you have ever met him, I mean, you couldn't even think this kid could harm a flea. Nonetheless, harm anyone else.
After Matthew's death, his mother, Tommy, back on the East Coast, tried to track down the suspect on her own, according to her brother. But investigators say she shot the wrong woman at a home in Washington, D.C., where she knocked on the front door disguised as a UPS driver. That woman survived, but as police closed in, Tommy took her own life.
It was like a movie. It was all so surreal. Losing Matthew and then his mother, 6 months later. I mean, it was. It's been rough. It's been a rough couple of years.
This guy's like,
finally, some good news for Matthew's family. The Federal Public Defender's Office representing Chelsea Perkins told me no comment in this case, Sentencing is scheduled for September 9th. Sarah Goldenberg, 19 News.
I was waiting until the end because I wanted her to say her name. Sarah Goldenberg. Sarah Goldenberg. News 19
in Cleveland.
There we go.
900
followers.
I really just wanted.
I'm going to get a follow back on that one. I think.
I really just wanted to follow up because she took the deal. So she was originally fighting the deal. She didn't want to take the deal, but they had. I think they had a death sentence on the table, and so she, or no, it was life in prison, and I think that they were trying to say self-defense. It looked like self-defense wasn't going to work, so she ended up taking the deal to avoid spending the rest of her life in prison.
I see, so that she can get out. I wonder if you can do OnlyFans in prison. You seem to be able to do TikTok and everything else in there, and some people have fun. Why haven't I seen? Maybe it's out there. If you know out there, folks. JoshPotterShow@gmail.com. Ooh, let me airdrop you these two things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this one, so speaking of JoshPotterShow@gmail.com, we have more tornado depictions. A story that happened 2 weeks ago. Last week, Arrett sent in his depiction, and I wanted more. I said every artist out there should contribute. I know that there's some creative people out there. There's artists amidst the roaches in the world. So I thought we should get some more. Now, the first one we have comes to us from Carissa. It says, "Hi, Josh. My thoughts are that the couple was huddled in fear, holding the opposite hand of one another when an object, possibly a 2x4, as you mentioned, came flying through the air, smacking their arms clean off. Picture them crouched down, facing the same direction, holding hands for dear life. I attached a depiction of what the aftermath could have possibly looked like. For the record, I had to buffer through most of the episode because I couldn't listen to you talk about the dog thing. God, the dog thing. Stick to people getting their arms ripped off, murders, cops shooting guns at acorns, and teachers touching kids. No one cares about the dog shit. I hear you loud and clear out there. Sometimes, I'm swinging and I'm missing. Love you, Josh. Sincerely, Carissa. P.S. My sister thinks you're hot. Everyone's sister seems to think I'm hot. No one by themselves. It's just always, yeah, my sister thinks you're cool, though. Well, where are the sisters? Anyhow, this is the drawing up here. Let me pull it up on my phone since it's a little tough for me to see over there. So we have here a lot of melee in the air. We see wind. We see pieces of shrapnel flying. A arrow depicting the whirly doodles of the winds there. See it? How it's like, woo, woo. It's showing what direction it's going. There we have two hands still holding one another, severed with what is to be probably the splintering 2x4 coming through with it. So it shows me the aftermath. This is the aftermath. This is an artistic rendering of just the hands blowing in the wind. Still clenched, by the way. I wonder if that would be... I wish I could call Dr. Drew and be like, if two hands were severed whilst holding one another, would they stay that way or would they release their grip?
Physicists chime in.
Yes, please let us know. I mean, according to Carissa, who it is her science depiction, it would be clenched. So
I like this one. It's very detailed.
It's artistic. It doesn't get to the bottom of what happened.
It doesn't say which arms. It doesn't say which side. She said they're huddled together, holding. If they were huddled face to face, wouldn't they be holding both hands?
Again, this leaves you having maybe more questions than answers. But I still appreciate the artistic value of it. It does, again, and maybe that's why it's so artistic, because it makes you have a lot of questions. You go and you stare at it in a gallery and you go, how the hell did that happen? And you stare at it and you picture things and you talk about it with your friends. That is what art is. So congratulations, Carissa. But it doesn't answer any of our questions, sadly. We have another one from, this one comes to us from Jim Goss.
Yes, it does.
Subject is Lady in Guy Arms Twister. It says, see attached picture of what actually happened. They were back to back with their arms locked.
Back to back.
So they didn't fly away from one another. So that means they were like locked like this. You know what I'm saying?
Back. That came out of
what
left
is that
field.
from? But what is that? I've seen that pose before.
It's like
You know, with their legs out front, but like, what would you do that for in another instance other than a tornado? Because maybe they're like locking their feet down and they're back to back. They're like, I'll never let you go. I get what he's saying.
They're
Where have I
hunkered
seen
in.
that?
It's like a team building exercise people do.
Maybe.
Yeah. Back to back.
They were back to back with their arms locked, so they didn't fly away from whatever was between them, like a pipe or post or tree or whatever. So he's saying that it's like, I mean, they didn't do this in Twister. In Twister, they tied themselves to the thing, and then they were in the like well, and then the tornado came in. Their legs were all like as if they wouldn't get absolutely ripped apart by the dust and pure just melee of the tornado. But anyhow, he's saying that they anchored themselves to like a pole or a tree and locked each other to it, which I don't think that was part of the story, but I like your imagination, if you will. On here, there's labels. You can see the two people here. They're both now in the other pictures that we saw that had their faces, they were smiling, if you recall, in arrests. They were happy for some reason, even though their limbs severed. I like that Jim showed the sadness and despair and fear on the faces of the two individuals. We don't know which is which because it was a man and woman, but I can't discern.
It says
lady, dude. There's labels.
Lady.
I stand corrected. The lady is on the left. Duh. How was I ever...
I thought you were fucking with me.
How was I ever confused about that even without the label? Now that I see it, it's like, well, yeah, that's the lady.
The purple one.
I'm fucking... Yeah, exactly. I can't believe I didn't realize.
But...
Smash, smash. There's a circle there. These lines.
Wouldn't they have lost both arms in both of these proposals?
Well, he's saying in this one that there was a pipe or a post or a tree, so the object could have just hit the one side of it.
They were in a house.
Listen, I'm explaining his theory. I'm not saying it's right.
I'm pissed.
You don't have to convince me, okay? I don't know. These are just, we have to just look at them for what they are.
They were do-si-doed up in the house.
Lee is standing by his, this shouldn't discourage you folks from sending things in. I want more. JoshPotterShow at gmail.com. Keep those articles coming as well. Wonderful Roach reportings today. Oh my goodness, you've been so great at sending the articles. I mean, I am backed up like a fucking special ed kid drinking a Mountain Dew, I'll tell you over here. We're going to get those two coming up here. There we go. I was wondering where my song was. Griff Parker, thanks for sending this musical number into JoshPotterShow at gmail.com. Thank you again to all the Roach reporters out there. Thank you to Jim and Carissa for your wonderful drawings. Thank you to Bobby for the article and for the production. Thank you to Alex and Lee. I hope you join us next Wednesday. We'll be right back here at the Comedy Store with another episode of the Josh Potter Show. In the meantime, buy tickets to my fucking shows, please. Next month, July 13th, Chicago, Illinois, Janesville, Wisconsin in August, and then in October, going to be in Spokane, going to be in Tacoma, Oklahoma City, and much more in the fall. So get to thejoshpotter.com. That's thejoshpotter.com. See you next Wednesday, folks.
Coming to you live and direct with the Roach. We shotgun the beers, I got time for a toast. It's the only place I get my sports like for real, son. He taught us nobody's more sus than Russell Wilson.
Here's the deal, son. Won't find us in Walmart. Josh Potter, keep it frank, kinda like a ballpark. It wasn't nothing talking all that jism. Turns out there's a lot of semen terrorism.
Now it's time we hit him. Bringing Votto to the plate. Roachy, your words with Chase O'Donnell the Great. Let me stop for a second, cause it's Ask Marty time. Cause it's idiocy, you know I cannot abide.
Not a fan of these guys, gonna damage the rise. Worse than the host known as the Roach. Leave an idiot woman standing on the side, or looking like she just tripped into a moat.
I'ma kill this Henny beat like murder. Been in more studios than most have ever heard of. Pleased to be listening, hit that like and subscribe. So many bills, hats got the mafia vibe.
A lot to describe, like a Roach Reporter. Teacher on OF, don't report her. Trying to live life with my mannequin wife and my mannequin kids, if that's my mannequin right.
Been a fan of this guy since the Roach Motel. Couple 100 weeks in, still funny as hell. From the tit cups to back sis and blind eyes, Potter has one of the best shows of all time.
Now watch this drive. Pop a couple tall cans with the Roach King and caught the vibe. Ready to pour more, scurry out the floorboards. Hit like, comment, and subscribe.